Michelle, are you ready?
I was born ready.
She's an award-winning author, speaker, and podcast host who serves on the National Faith Advisory Council. She supported Donald J. Trump for president before it was cool, from her she shed in her beautiful backyard. This is the Michelle Moore Show.
Trophies have turned to rust. People have let me down. Who can I trust? I found earth's riches, but I lost my own worth. When I hit rock bottom, to whom else could I turn? It's all for nothing if it's not all for you, all for you. I'm merely existing if I'm not existing to worship you. 'Cause kingdoms fall and reigns will end, empires crumble and left in ruins. It's all for nothing if it's not all for you. All for you, Jesus. In you I found the greater love. You are my firm foundation, in whom I place my trust. I found heaven's riches when you taught me my worth. You alone give words of life. To whom else could I turn? It's all for nothing
Hi, everybody. It's all for nothing if it is not for him. I love that. It's such a beautiful song. Still from Alicia and Whitney, though. They're the ones that we usually play their music video every week when Lieutenant Mark Taylor is with us. And so it was just time to do a little something different. And Mark and I were definitely feeling that video today, that song. It was so beautiful. There's a lot going on in the country right now. We've got a lot to cover with you today. Lieutenant Mark Taylor is with us today. And so we're going to be talking with him. And then after, we'll talk a little bit about Godly Granny and the upcoming release of products that are this Friday. So we're going to be giving away a couple of goodies all week. You know how I like to celebrate. So we'll talk about that after our time with Lieutenant Mark Taylor. But let's go ahead and bring him in and let's get started. We got a lot to go over today. Hi, Lieutenant Mark Taylor. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure to be on the show.
Well, I appreciate you being on. So, Mark, let's start first and foremost. Obviously, we're going to talk about Charlie Kirk.
Right.
We got a lot to cover today. And so when it comes to Charlie's passing, this is the first time you've been on the show since then. I want you to know that on Thursday, we did a show where I really just showed a lot of different videos that, that were where he was on college campuses and he had different interactions where different kids would ask or, young adults would ask him a question and have conversation back and forth with him. And so what I have said is that we're going to honor what we saw and what he did for the kingdom. There's a lot of talk about, he was a replacement. He looked different. There's a lot of stuff we're going to get into today as well. Yeah. But so with all of that, though, it's like, okay, there's a lot of stuff we can't, what I say is there's a lot of stuff you can't prove. There's going to be some stuff today we show that we can prove. Right. But also it's difficult because there's so many parts and moving parts and pieces with all of this. And so before we even get started, I just wanted to ask you, I'm sure you've got some things you'd like to share just out the gate about Charlie's passing. And so I wanted to give you that moment to kind of just open us up with that.
Yeah. So first, our hearts and prayers go out to him and his family, first and foremost. Look, I don't care whether you love someone or like them. It doesn't matter what he got. Nobody deserves that in this country, not for speaking the truth. And the problem is that you've got the left. You've got all these different things going on right now where this country's coming to a boiling point. We're going to get more into that as we get into the show here. That God's been prophesying is coming. It's here. We're sitting on a powder keg right now in this country. So, but as far as Charlie goes, that to me was a prophetic sign that this is a turning point. Now, a turning point, when God says this is a turning point, can mean several different things. It can mean it could get darker before it gets better. But either way, this is going to be a turning point. And so, I had released a prophetic word about this very incident July of last year of 2024. I don't know if we have that. Can we bring that up?
Yes.
So right here on July 5th, 2024, this is not on my website, guys. Everybody keeps asking me it's on my website. It's not on my website. I released this on social media. And on July 5th, 2024, I said, as I was waking up this morning, I saw the words, "One will be killed and the blood pressure of America shall rise. Pray for America, for we are about to enter into some very perilous times." Now, this is a prophetic word, guys. So pray for America. We're about to enter into some very perilous times. This could be the turning point, even though we enter some perilous times. It doesn't matter. Either way, Charlie was the one that was being prophesied here, because what's happened to the blood pressure of America right now? It's gone through the roof, because we're on the verge of a civil war in this country right now, and because the patriots have had enough right now. So, but either way, it doesn't matter. You're seeing the Democrats expose themselves to who they truly are. Basically, they're a terrorist organization as far as I'm concerned. But what you're seeing coming out of the woodwork on TikTok, on X, on all these different social media platforms, the hatred towards this man, the demons are manifesting everywhere because they're celebrating the death of this man. Again, no one deserves to be assassinated like this, guys. We have a constitution that gives us our freedom of speech here. So, again, I think that this is a separating of the wheat and the chaff right now. I think you're seeing that the MK Ultra army that Gina Phillips has always talked about is coming forth. I think they are literally manifesting before our very eyes. These are the people you're seeing on social media celebrating this mess. Not to mention the demon possessed. They're all demon possessed, but the fact of the matter is you're seeing all this come to pass right now.
Yeah. And, it's I always think about the temperature too outside. And so, it's still summer, it's still warm. Right. And so that only helps it along as well. And then I think also some of it is attributed to the fact with the Patriots, we're not seeing what we thought we were going to see. We're
That's
not
right.
a relief in the gas prices, the food prices.
Nope.
You know, we're still paying taxes. You know, I think a lot of people were hoping that the income tax was going to, you know, go away. IRS was going to go away and there would, you know, there's just no relief.
Right. And so I put that out on social media the other day, and I had about 3 or 4 negative comments. Had one guy a minute ago, I just looked and was talking about, well, you know, Mark, you know, Trump's doing a great job, this, that, and the other. Go on there and read the comments on that True Social post where I called out the gas prices and the food and this, that, and the other, and see the comments from people all over the country who are saying it's actually gone up in my state. It hasn't gone down, it's gone up.
Wow.
And so
Okay.
depending on what part of the state you're in, it could go down or it could go up. We had 2 people from Texas come in there. One said it was going down. The other said, no, I'm in East Texas. No, it's going up. So,
Yeah.
you know, and so I don't know who's feeding the president these lies when he comes out here bragging about this stuff, that gas is going down, eggs are going down. I just paid $23 a pound for beef, for crying out loud, for 2 steaks.
Yeah.
So it's not going down. So every time he does this, it's actually making him look bad. And I cringe every time he does this with the bragging, because, again, who's lying to the president by giving him these wrong stats? Yeah, they may be coming down in 1 or 2 states, but the other 48, we're getting hammered out here still.
Well, we're going to cover some of that as we go on. Let's go on ahead and move on to a second thing, which is the FBI agent Bo Mason. So let's take a look at this picture. So this was the gentleman. It says now FBI agent Bo Mason says a high-powered bolt action rifle was recovered in a wooded area from Charlie Kirk's assassination, including shoe impressions and a palm print. Assassin still at large. So the reason why we're sharing this with you, though, isn't because of all of that. We're sharing with you that the guy's last name is Mason,
Right.
and there's a lot of Masonic Freemasonry things going on. And so we want to make sure that people are aware of this. Now, we had Knock My Socks Off says gas in Florida Panhandle sticking around $2.86 a gallon. Where is it? Here it is. Grandma's Pony 2015 says, I'm a little slow, but really don't get the false flag and the PSYOP thing. Well, Grandma's Pony, you're fixing to get some of this explained to you, honey. And so this is part of it. So the very first one that comes out with the FBI that has the news conference, his last name is Mason. And so this is, you know, Freemason. So we're like, okay, this is interesting. Now let's show you the Kash Patel video. And so Grandma's Pony, you're going to want to see this, honey. Here we go. The Kash Patel video.
A little bit of the timeline. Charlie was shot at 12:23 p.m. on Wednesday. The first FBI agents arrived on scene in 16 minutes with chiefs of police at 12:39 and secured the scene. The FBI immediately launched fixed-wing assets. We utilized these assets to transport personnel, specialty technicians, hostage rescue teams. We also utilized these assets to go back and forth from the East Coast and here in Utah to transport forensic evidence and other evidence that will be analyzed and is being analyzed at our FBI laboratories in Quantico and other laboratories, including the ATF. At my direction, the FBI released the first set of FBI photos of the suspect at 10 a.m. local time on 9/11. Then, shortly thereafter, the FBI reward of $100,000 was released at 10:45 a.m. local. Myself and Deputy Director Bongino arrived on the scene at approximately 5:30 p.m. on 9/11. The governor led a press conference last night at approximately 8 p.m., where at my direction, the FBI released a never-before-seen video of the suspect. We also released new images to the public of the suspect. And just last night, the suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time. In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox.
Okay.
Unbelievable. So,
Producer Ron, is that the video, the same video? Does it go on and end with the Valhalla thing? Producer Ron, will you check that? And if so, I want to show that too. So let's talk about the 33 while Producer Ron's looking up that.
right. So September, right after this went out, I put this out on Telegram, on social media. I said, what's wrong with this picture? The first FBI agent gives a press conference, has a last name Mason, and now Kash makes it a point to look at the camera when stating it took exactly 33 hours to catch this guy. wow, you think you can't make this crap up. They think we are stupid. They are telling us to our faces that this was a Masonic ritual or sacrifice. These people are straight from hell itself. The Lord God himself rebukes you demons that call yourself leaders. Repent, is what God was saying here.
Yeah.
Now, look, it's not a coincidence that the guy had FBI guy, his name is Mason. It's not a coincidence that Cash Patel comes out and says 33. I mean, you've got some stuff we're going to add later about 33. And I mean, so they're telling you, they have to tell you what's going on here. And people say, well, Charlie Kirk's thing was fake. It was a false flag. It was fake. Or now you got people on the other side saying, oh, well, it was real. It doesn't matter one way or the other. I mean, it does matter in the grand scheme of things. But from a spiritual standpoint, let's look at this from a spiritual standpoint. A Masonic ritual, most Freemasons will fake a Masonic ritual or assassination, if you will, to get to a higher level. So it doesn't matter if it's fake or if it's real. In the spirit, it's still looking at it like it's the real deal, guys.
Yeah.
That's what people have to understand. Either way, this was a Masonic ritual, and they're telling you to your face what this is.
All right. And that's why I have said, we focus like on the show on Thursday of last week, the Charlie, the things he said publicly.
Right.
And the things he did. Because there's only so many things you're going to know for sure that you can prove. Right. People are like, oh, it was this, it was that. It's like, well, how do you know? How do you know? And so unless you can prove it, and the weird thing with the casket, with the hands, and there's just some really strange things going on. But again, how do you even know what's really going on? It might seem strange, it might seem odd to us, but maybe there was good reason for it or whatever. I think it's weird that there's a give, send, go. There's all kinds of things going on. She's a multimillionaire. Why do they need a give, send, go? When we've got people in North Carolina who are literally living out of tents and, and sheds.
Right.
So, I don't understand. Okay. So the Cash Patel thing.
And it doesn't help also that they're lying to us, which we know this guy's lying through his face. Yeah. All right. Cash Patel is. And so is Dan Bongino. We know that it started with the Epstein thing. Nobody in their right mind believes anything coming out of these guys' mouth right now. And so, to believe half of this stuff that they're telling us, I don't believe for 1 second that this guy was the shooter or that he was acting alone or the transgender thing. I think this was all a setup for something else, and they're trying to cover for something or someone else or a group of people. I don't know. Either way, I'm not buying this guy was the shooter.
Well, let's talk about Valhalla. So producer Ron says there's nothing about that at the rest of the video. He says that they're acting with complete transparency. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I just find that just laughable. Okay. But at the end of that particular press conference, Cash Patel does say something about, oh, and on a personal note, Charlie, I'll see you in Valhalla, brother, or whatever.
Right.
So we're all like, what's that about? And so you looked up the thing about Valhalla. And so will you read that to us?
Right. Some say, well, it's a QCOM saying he's in witness protection. The real terminology for it comes from the Norse mythology and is used to refer to a majestic hall in Asgard ruled by the god Odin, where fallen warriors chosen by Valkyries feast with him after death. So that's kind of what that is. Now, could it be he's in witness protection? I have no clue. Nobody's got any proof of this stuff, like you were just saying. You know what I mean? So,
okay,
that's the definition.
Now, I do want to say, so now I'm seeing something else here that you need to know about. So prior to the show starting, I had read I don't know if I took a screenshot of it. Let me see here. I had read a comment. Yes, I did. From a lady on X that had commented to me. And she said, I have received 3 texts, talking about text messages, over the last 2 days from TP, meaning Turning Point, wanting donations to the 501c4 organization. And now through X, you see viewer Natalie says, I've had at least 4 texts from Turning Point USA for donations. Could be nothing more than a cash cow. I don't understand why they would be doing this. He's not even in the ground yet. So, apparently they're supposed to be burying him later in the week. I heard Sunday and then I've heard tomorrow. So I don't know when, but what I find this odd. I'm just saying.
Do we know that it's make sure it's not a scam? I mean, do we know that it's Turning Point? I mean, is there any way to verify? That's the whole thing with this thing. You know what I mean?
Yep. And so I had asked that particular person that had responded about it, and I don't see a response back from them yet. And then, but when I saw this with viewer Natalie, it's like,
Right.
okay, so viewer Natalie, is there any chance? Like, have you received text messages from them before? Do you know for sure that it's them? Like, is there a way to make
Right.
sure that it's absolutely them and it's not a scam? And
Right.
so we'll see what viewer Natalie shares with us. Okay. I just, again, he's not even buried yet. I just don't like that. There's just something odd about it to me.
Right.
Okay. All right. So that was one thing. I would be interested to know who set the ball caps like they did, where there were 3 rows of ball caps to his left as he was sitting and he
Right.
was speaking. And so the camera had that angle. And so of course all the ball caps only had the numbers 47 on them. 4 plus 7 is 11. And then of course, if you take 11 times 3, because there were 3 rows, so you see 3 ball caps, 3 rows of ball caps. And so you're seeing 33. And so who in the world is doing that? You see what I'm saying? There was
Right.
so many things. It's not a coincidence. And so it's just too much going on. Natalie says, when you click the link, let's see here. When you click the link, it certainly looks like it's them. Never before heard from them before. Okay. So interesting. So, some people have
I actually just got a text from my sister. She said
okay.
there is a scam text going around. Be sure not to click it, just delete it, and it's coming from Turning Point USA. So be careful.
Okay. So there you
So,
go. So
all right.
Natalie, don't be clicking on it.
Yep.
Okay, so that's good to know because that's what we're trying to get to the bottom of is how do
Yep.
you know? So that's good. Okay, I wonder too then. Okay, so then Den Rich says, let's see, we got another comment through YouTube. I received a text from Turning Point asking for money. I deleted it. I don't believe that. I believe you got the text. I just don't believe that they would be asking for money unless they just wanted to know if you want to donate. Now I wish I had kept the text, never received from them before. Okay, yeah, this is sounding scammy
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
me. Okay. Producer Ron says, just remembered that I got a text that was supposedly from Erica Kirk. I blocked it and deleted it. It was last night. Yeah, there's no way. So this is sounding very scammy. I think it's a good idea not to click on it, like what your sister said. Thank you
Yep.
so much. To make sure she knows. I said thank you. Okay, so let's move on because that makes me feel way better, by the way, because I was
All right.
like, I'm not feeling the warm and fuzzies here. And I did look it up, and she herself, Erica Kirk, is a multimillionaire. I mean, there's nothing. She's got a nonprofit. She in her own right had a number of things going on. Obviously, many of us have never even heard of her, don't know her. This will, of course, this is, put her in front of everybody. And now people will know her name. She'll be a household name at this point. But my point is, don't be giving out money. And so like that without knowing exactly who you're giving to and making sure, but very odd. Okay. So we're going to move on. So talking about the Freemasonry symbolism, before we move into the next part of what we're wanting to cover with you all, I received a notification Wednesday morning. Now, this is the day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. So, with the shooting. It was that morning. I was in a hurry. I was getting ready. My phone made a sound. Now I'm sharing this because I'm asking for help. I'm wondering if anybody else saw what I saw. So I saw this myself. It was a Instagram post by Ivanka Trump. And in it, I don't remember the details. I was busy getting ready. I had doctor's appointments that day at the dentist with my family. And so I just remember that when you zoomed in or it zoomed in, I don't remember if it was a video or 2 photos, but there was a zoom in, and this was the day he was assassinated. And this was from Ivanka Trump. And so I follow her on Instagram. And so I clicked on it. My phone alerted me that she had posted. And so when I went, and I don't know if it was like a reel or if it was a video or like a post, it is no longer there. I cannot find it. But what it did was it zoomed in and showed a piece of the article of clothing. It was a navy like sweater, I think it was. And so, and it had, back in the day where you would have something monogrammed and it was all kind of swirly. So you had to look kind of closely because it was all swirly letters. It wasn't very modern letters, and it was JFK. And so I cannot find the video. I saw the video. It was that morning and it is gone. And so if anybody else saw the video or has it, will you please let me know and email me at michelle@nashvillemichelle.com so that you can email me the video. I'd love to see it again and show it. I think it's very odd timing. And the fact that it was JFK, I just think I want to see the video and I want to show it to everybody, but I cannot find it. I saw it that morning. Okay, so I thought, well, we'll just put out a call for some help here. If anybody else saw it and can't find it, let me know. I want to hear what other people have to say about it. So on that day, who else? So you got Kennedy, you got King, and you got Kirk.
Yep.
Okay, that have all been assassinated. Start with K's. K is the 11th letter of the alphabet, by the way.
Nothing surprises me right now. Everything's with purpose. Everything has a meaning.
Mm-hmm. Well, the KKK, that's 33, right. 11,
yep.
11, 11. Now you have JFK Jr., or you have John Kennedy and President Kennedy. You had Rodney King, and then you got, not Rodney King, Martin Luther King, thank you. And then Charlie Kirk. Right. So 3 very public assassinations. Okay, so, and then Kennedy, isn't where he was shot on the 33, what is that, the ley lines?
33rd parallel or something? Or
yes,
I don't
yes,
know.
The 30, yes. So a lot of people don't know about the 33 parallel, but there's something very specific about where he was shot too that has to do with the 33rd parallel.
Yep.
So that's a whole nother thing, by the way. So, and then I think his wife, Erica, actually graduated from where he was shot also. I think she went to college there.
I don't know. I don't know anything about him, honestly.
I read up on her this week, and I think she actually went to college there where he was shot last week. Okay, so let's go on. So the next thing is a video from Michael Savage. It's about 5 minutes. We're going to show you this. You'll know why. It's just crazy. All right, let's take a look.
Something's wrong. I know I shouldn't do this. I'm risking an awful lot to go up against this FBI, the MAGA FBI. Something's very wrong with what I just heard. I mean, I watched it. I was hoping that they had caught the bastard who shot Charlie. So we saw a video of a person jumping off the roof. It looked very legitimate to me. However, there was no rifle in his hand. Now, the Mauser does not break down very easily, incidentally, for those of you who know weapons. Something's wrong with the whole thing. They're trying to claim he removed the barrel from the Mauser and fit the receiver and stock in his backpack and barrel in his pants leg, all in 2 seconds. It is not easy to remove a Mauser barrel or index it after reinstalling and remain accurate. We are not hearing or seeing reality. And by the way, the photo of the rifle allegedly left in the woods has the barrel installed. So we're supposed to believe a guy is on the run after killing Charlie Kirk, and he pauses in the woods to reinstall a barrel, and then he leaves it for us to find, the FBI to find. I don't believe a word of it. I shouldn't do this. I know I'm putting myself at risk, but I can't take it anymore. I can't take the from this government. It's lying to us. Something's wrong. Something's so wrong. It's sickening. Look at this idiot. They found the rifle and they're getting the prints. Are you stupid? Are you that stupid? Are you that dumb? The man jumps off the roof. There's no rifle there. Oh, it's in his backpack. I just told you, moron, that this rifle doesn't break down that easily. And then it's supposed to be reassembled while he's on the run. Wait, I'll stop now and reassemble it and leave it in the woods in a box, wrapped in a towel. He left breadcrumbs. Oh, and the trans stuff on the cartridges. Something is wrong with this whole picture. I am persona non grata in this White House. I will tell you right now, I flew with Donald Trump in Air Force One. I consider him close to me. I have not been able to get near him since this administration took hold. They have thrown me out. They've castigated, thrown me in the desert. They don't want me near them. They don't want real truth tellers near them. Sean Hannity, immediately, that pimp scumbag, goes on the air and repeats the government lie, that lousy son of a... How the does Sean Hannity live with himself? Well, we just prove, and he had the... Sean, you know what? Kept animal. You're like a kept in a brothel. Sean Hannity, you've always been in a brothel. You have hit a new low, Hannity, and something is wrong. Somebody killed this young guy, and everyone is asking who done it, and we're supposed to believe they think we're this stupid? So Kash Patel is there and he doesn't say a word, and Donald Trump's in the Yankee Stadium? What the hell is going on here? I'm just an American citizen who's been in the business of observing since I'm 18 years old, and I don't buy one word of this narrative, not one single word. So I'm going to end in a moment.
Well, there you have it. You're muted, Michelle.
So many people saying that they have been getting the turning point text messages, by the way. All right.
Okay.
So what he said, let's talk about what he just said. So the first thing is he says something is wrong with the whole thing. Then he also says he's not been able to get near him since this administration took hold. Now, where have I heard for weeks? I mean, really months. Where have I heard that? Oh, wait a minute. Mondays from you.
Isn't there a prophecy that speaks about that? About his advisors? Now, this man flew on Air Force One, and he said they have cut him off. He has no contact with the president since this administration took hold. So here we go again with what is going on here. It's the gatekeepers. It's the demonic gatekeepers like Susie Wiles and Paula White. They don't. This is his words, not mine. He says they don't want the truth tellers near him. Now, he's bringing up some very good things about the gun. We're going to talk about the gun here in a minute, in a second here. But the point is, what is going on with this administration? And the fact that the day after Kirk's death, President Trump shows up to a Major League Baseball game with Pam Blondie while she's there taking selfies of herself when she should be at work trying to catch the killer. I mean, none of this makes sense, guys. It's like Trump has lost complete and total touch with what the American people actually want right now, because the perception he's getting, look, perception is an extremely powerful weapon, and they're wielding it as a weapon. They're giving Trump is giving the perception that he doesn't care a lot of times. Why would you show up to a baseball game if you're that really hurt over losing a close friend like that? And was it simply to go there to get your fix for your ego so you could hear 10,000 screaming voices saying Trump, 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 or USA, USA? Really? I mean, I understand life has got to go on. I get that. But there's also perception that's being given here, Michelle. We've talked about this before on the show. What about the people in North Carolina that never received the money? What about the illegals that still aren't out of this country? And let me explain something to you about the illegals here real quick while we're on this. I said this on ATKN the other night. I'm going to say it here. 99.9% of the stuff that I ran on the fire department, you never heard about. I ran 6 cuttings, couple shootings, couple stabbings in one shift. You never heard about it. We're only hearing, like the girl. We've already forgotten about the white girl who was stabbed in the neck by the black guy. We're only hearing what makes the headlines. You're not hearing 99.9% of what's actually going on out there with these illegals. We haven't got the illegals out of here. So it's all these things. It's like we live in a third world country, and they're dragging their heels acting. Every single person I talk to is so disappointed and literally angry with this president right now because it's taking him forever to act on this stuff. And in fact, when you've got, and we're going to prove this right now in a minute because we're this close to a civil war, this close. And it's like, he's just blind to it. He doesn't care. Go ahead.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot to take in. I want to go back to, so producer Ron said in that video that, it ended with Patel saying, that they're operating with transparency.
Yeah, another lie.
It's not a good sign if you got to tell people you're being transparent.
Right.
I mean, it's like, what are you talking about? You know, I mean, the whole country can tell something stinks all the way to high heavens here.
Well,
So,
look,
no.
the whole administration is an embarrassment as far as I'm concerned. I really don't care if that makes people mad. I really don't care. Bongino and Cash Patel, FBI should have been disbanded a long time ago. He's lying to the American people. They lied to the American people about Epstein. First they caught the perpetrator with Kirk's assassin, and then they had to turn him loose. Then it wasn't. It's like, which one is it, dude? Seriously.
Well, now I saw some video footage over the weekend where it was showing Charlie Kirk calling for the documents with Epstein to be released. And so if that definitely looks real, looks very authentic, and it looks like that could be a very big problem for them. And so why haven't those documents been released? And again, this goes back to who you've been bringing up with the Pam Blondie. And then of course we showed Cash Patel. So that's an issue. And then I believe Bongino is involved as well. So, this is a big issue. Okay. So, but I just want to point out the fact that Michael Savage said, since this administration has took a hold,
that's right.
That's a problem. This has been going on for months that you and I have been talking about this, and you have been saying, and we've done a lot of videos and talked a lot about Wiles. We've even talked about what Wiles means. But Susie Wiles is over, and really the people that have the ability to get in touch with him and with President Trump. And so she's got a lot of power. And then you said that there's a parallel, which I think is an excellent point. And that parallel is Paula White when it comes to the religion side, the faith side. And so Paula White, for those of you that don't know, she runs the faith side. And what did you say? You made a good point about a month ago when you said that the people that would tell the truth when it comes to the spiritual leaders that would tell the truth, the people that are in there are the ones with the 501c3s, by the way. And remember, we're talking about Paula White. If you'll send in $1,000, you can be blessed. And I said, months ago, I said, what about the poor that don't have $1,000? They just don't get blessed. So now the word of God is for sale. God's blessings are being sold. Okay, that's not the only thing being sold. And we're going to hear about that in a minute here. Okay, I want to back up and show the symbolism with the shooter. Did anybody notice this? So I want to go back and show about the shooter's hat. See, a pyramid. Again, Freemasonry stuff.
Illuminati pyramid. And this is not even the same guy. I don't even think this is the same guy as the shooter. They did a facial analysis, and this ain't even the same guy.
Yeah.
It's just the fact of the symbolism they're telling you guys.
Yeah. The nose and the lips are completely different. And I'm sorry, but this guy just doesn't look, to me, I'm not getting the gay vibe. And I guess apparently the one that's in jail right now, who supposedly has said that he's, the one is, I guess, living with a lover that's a male and he's gay. And there's a whole thing. It's all convoluted. What about the guy, the older gentleman that they arrested that day? Turns out he's been at two other big things that happened. He was somehow connected to 9/11, and then he had another shooting,
the Boston Marathon or something. I think it was the Boston Marathon or something like that.
So, And now he's conveniently there. They take him down. I mean, so that was a big distraction. And so, see what we're saying? There's a lot of.
It's kind of parallels with the police chief that was at the Las Vegas shooting, and then who's also now the police chief of Maui when all that went down.
Yes.
Come on, they really think we're that stupid.
Yes,
they really do.
They do.
Obviously, Cash Patel thinks everybody's stupid, because otherwise we wouldn't be spewing the lies he's lying about.
Okay, and I've talked about this on my X account this weekend, but also just for those that are not aware. They're saying that the shooter drove 3.5 hours. What is 3.5 hours?
33.
That's how it's written. It's not 3 and then a colon and 50 like somebody wanted to think it was this weekend. Yes, somebody actually probably graduated from high school and didn't know that. But it's 3.5 hours. So supposedly drove from their home for 3.5 hours. Again, more of the Illuminati Freemasonry symbolism. You just can't quite make this stuff up. Nope. Mary says Turning Point is a 501c3. I don't know if they're a 501c3 or C4. Because somebody said they were a 501c4. I don't know, honey. So that's, Philip says Michael Savage is anti-Trump and always has been. Don't believe his rhetoric. Well, he says he's been on the plane.
What he said was true. Doesn't matter. I don't care if he's anti-Trump. Everything he said in that video was in fact true.
What does Mark think about the fact that Charlie has been very pro-Israel, but started to question Israel publicly? Have you seen that where he was
I've seen
starting
that.
to?
I don't listen to Charlie. I've seen little snippets of him over the years. I don't
Mhm.
listen to him, so I know he's a very smart guy, but no, I don't. I know he was starting to turn on Israel. Is that a part of it? I have no clue.
Yeah. Okay, this is interesting. Did you hear the video where the reporter asks how Trump is doing after the shooting? And he says doing good and then talks about the
Yeah.
wonderful space
Yep.
that's being built in DC.
See, there's the perception right there, guys. Ask how you're doing after the shooting. And he talks about the ballroom or whatever it is that they're doing constructing on. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Deflection. Again, he deflects. The same thing he did with Epstein. Look, I'm not liking what's going on. I'm really
No.
not. We've said this last week that Trump has taken a wrong turn somewhere. Now, what is it? I have no clue.
But we've also said that he's out of touch with everyday people.
Yep.
And at the very least, I would call that out of touch. Like read the room.
He's out of touch with the middle and lower class because he's never lived middle and lower class. And that's okay. If God's blessed him with that money, that's fine. But the problem is you cannot relate to people down here like me and you because of the simple fact is the proof of he has no clue what's going on with us is the fact that who does he surround himself with as far as his advisors go? Every single one of these advisors he has are millionaires and billionaires. He has no one from the lower or middle class advising him. And this is why he's in trouble with the lower middle class.
Yeah. I mean, for goodness sakes, who's running his faith stuff? It's the woman who's selling God's blessings for $1,000.
Right.
Those are not hers to sell.
Right.
They're not to be sold. It's not for sale.
Right.
So don't even get me started. I'm gonna get all upset over it. Okay, so let's look at the gun photo, and I want you to explain this because I'm sure. Oh, by the way, Tanya Harris is asking, "What is Valhalla?" So here's part of this. So Mark read about the background on Valhalla, but then you got Wayne Willett, who is many people know as Juan 07. He's saying that Valhalla is a place where they take people out of rotation, out of contact, whatever you want to call it, take them and put them in some kind of a witness protection, and it's supposedly called Valhalla. Why would Kash Patel go out of his way to end that press conference with that and be like, oh, and on a personal note, I'll see you at Valhalla, buddy, and that kind of brother. And so I mean, it was a very public thing.
Yeah.
Why would he do that publicly like that?
I have no clue.
So it does seem like a bit of an op, but who knows? I mean, again, though, they do things, they get away with the craziest stuff. Look at 9/11. You still got people walking around believing 9/11, and it's just crazy. So they get away with this. So we say, well, why in the world would he do that? Well, because he can.
Well,
it's part of the ritual.
But see, here's the other thing too, is that you got to realize is that we've talked about this before on the show, is that this is what happens when you run too many psyops. It creates an air of distrust. And so nobody trusts his administration right now. Everybody keeps saying, well, this administration, even Michael Savage said it, this administration. Guys, you're leaving out the head of the administration, which is President Trump. It all starts and stops with the leader. He is the leader of the administration. This administration is failing the American people right now, unfortunately, because they're not doing the will of the people. They're not doing what we voted for. I didn't vote for this. I voted for justice, righteousness, and justice. I voted for law and order. It's not being restored. We're dragging our feet. We got people dying in the streets out here every single day right now. And you're only seeing the 0.1% on the headlines, guys. You're not seeing the other 99. Look what happened to the guy in Dallas the other day, right after the assassination, where he beheaded a hotel manager, and they had video of the head rolling across the parking lot like a bowling ball. And the guy goes out there and picks it up and dumps it in the trash while the rescue truck's pulling in.
Okay, so
this is the kind of thing that we're not seeing.
But that is another question that I have in my mind that I want to talk about. And that is, I am seeing some people saying it's not Israel, it's Islam that is the real problem.
I don't know who the real problem is. God has not shown me anything on that. But I know what the real problem is in this country right now. But we're not dealing with reality. We're not dealing with the fact that the illegals need to be getting out of here quickly, not going into one city every 30 or 45 days or every 60 days. Why not declare the Insurrection Act and let's be done with this?
Well, are you hearing Trump say, and because I don't know, I don't read every truth. I don't, so I'm at, because I can, there's only so many hours in a day and we all don't see everything. So between you and the viewers in the live chat, producer Ron, help me with this, if you would please. Okay. So are you seeing Trump talk about America first?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So I want to ask the viewers that, if you'll please pipe in and put it in the live chat what you're seeing, because we're hearing a lot about peace in the world and
Right.
other places doing this and that, and the Ukraine and
The
the
Nobel Peace
Russia.
Prize.
Yes, but where is America first? That's what
Right.
I'm concerned about.
That's right.
Sandy through YouTube says nope. And again, the gas prices were so low when he was president the first time.
Right.
So he was doing so much.
Right.
What is going on?
Something
It's
is
crazy.
off. I'm telling
Yeah.
you, something is off, guys, somewhere.
Mhm.
So whatever that is, I do not know.
All right. So Wanda says no. Kevin says DARPA's been quiet. That's true. Okay. So Aqua Girl says yes. So I guess she's saying yes, that he is talking about it. Not anymore. No. So everybody else saying no. The people are suffering. Have not really seen it for myself. Yeah. It's just, where is America first? That's what I'm struggling with is, where are the things that we care about? The taxes, the gas prices, the tax deductions. I'm not seeing the guy that we elected the first time.
No.
I'm just not seeing the same guy.
Gas is $4.50 a gallon in New York.
Mm-hmm.
So
Valhalla was the place that Vikings said that they went to after death, a type of heaven.
Yep.
I thought Patel may have used that term as for heaven, ? Yeah, don't know, honey. Very interesting. It was just an interesting thing that he would even say it out loud anyway. So it was just odd. But then Wayne Willett comes out and says, oh, this is where where the people go kind of in hiding that are witness protection and kind of park there is I think the way that he worded it.
Well, one thing I've noticed about the president this time, and he didn't do the first term, he's doing a lot of deflecting. Just like with Epstein, he deflected and said, well, that's BS, this, that, and the other. And now somebody asked him about how'd you feel about Kirk's assassination? How are you doing after that? Well, did you see the ballroom? There's a lot of deflection going on here, and I'm not liking this. I really am not. And we talked to a lot of people, Michelle, me and you both, through emails, through our comments on here. Everybody's feeling the same thing. They are very frustrated and they are very angry with this president because he has not kept America first agenda. It's all about, the oil going to buying from Russia, or it's about other people in other countries. When he has his own security. We're going to find out what his own security is about here right now in a second. So.
Yeah. All right. So I do want to read this. Thank you so much, 200T, for sharing this. It says Michael Savage and DJT have been old buddies from Queens, New York for decades. Trump appeared many times on Michael Savage's show. So there we go. Okay. Thank you so much for the background on that. I did not know that, 200T. Thank you, honey. Avery R says gas is still over $300 in West Virginia. Mark, we were under $1.50 for gas when when Trump was president the first time. So you're talking about we're like twice as much at the gas pump right now in this area as what it was when he was president. Why? It doesn't make sense.
Nothing makes sense right now. Nothing makes sense.
Nothing. And so, okay, so we're going to go on ahead and move on to the next video. If you thought well, let's look at the gun photo. I want you to explain this. So with the rifle, please explain what everybody is talking about. So we're supposed to believe that he deconstructed the gun to get off of the roof. Right. And then we're supposed to believe that he got into the woods and then he reconstructed the gun and had the time to do all that.
Okay, first off, I've hunted my whole life. I've been a Second Amendment guy my whole life. They said it was a 30-06, this, that, and the other. I have a 30-06 scoped rifle that I've hunted with for years. And I don't know who at the FBI or whoever it was. I don't know who it was FBI or somebody else. I have no clue. Whoever mounted this scope didn't know what they were doing, because if you look at the eye relief, the scope is pulled all the way to the rear. So if you were laying in a prone position with a 30-06 and a recoil of a 30-06, you'd have a black eye, because that scope would hit you right here. It's where to hit you. That's the first thing. And a lot of people are saying, I can't tell by this photo, but it looks like a short action. A 30-06 is not a short action. You can see by the size of the bolt, by the length of the bolt. So I'm not buying any of this. I'm not buying the fact that he took this apart. I'm not buying the fact that we didn't, just like Michael Savage said, everything he said in that video was correct. He did not disassemble this, jump off the roof with no picture of this, and then dump it in the woods for the FBI to find. So.
All right. Okay. All right. The next one, let's take a look. Just when y'all think you've heard it all, and I want to remind you, what is it that Mark has been saying for months? The administration. And so we just heard it from Michael Savage, and we just heard it from 200T. Michael Savage and DJT have been old buddies from Queens, New York for decades. In other words, Michael Savage is known for telling Trump what's going on. He says, not been able to get near him since this administration took a hold. And then he goes into calling, and saying all kinds of stuff about Hannity, which we know he's a dirtbag. So, I mean, that's a whole nother thing. And so if he's been replaced or not and all that, I don't even want to get into all of that kind of stuff because we can't prove it.
Talking about Trump?
No, talking about Hannity, because some people will say, he was replaced, and who knows? I'm just saying. Okay. And Christ Believer makes a good point. She goes, eggs are still $4.50 a carton in North Carolina. It's insane, isn't it, girl? Okay. So we got another video just when you think you've heard it all. Let's listen to this man. His name is Economic Ninja. What he goes by. Just when y'all think you've heard it all. Here we go.
Specific token, and all it does is 100% tracks and traces, takes the money that the token was purchased from these companies that are polluting, and then it goes to putting oysters in our waters, in oceanways that they are polluting, in rivers that they are polluting, and these oysters can filter a massive amount of water per day. We want to bring back, use Earth to heal Earth, and we want to see this rampant pollution stop, but we have to have a way of tracking it so that the companies can go, hey, look, we're putting money into this. And we've already seen massive companies pledge to purchase our tokens. We have seen multiple government entities from around the world want to invest in our company, yet we can't get a meeting with Eric Trump and RFK. So let me explain to you. And I'm going to read this directly from Adam's words. But the world is listening, but Washington doesn't. At Bitcoin Asia in Hong Kong, Michelle and I, along with our colleagues, the Ninja, and Dylan, came with one goal: to advance reshoring, blockchain-powered nutrient credits, and accountability in food and water systems. We also sought a meeting with Eric Trump, believing he would understand the importance of reshoring industries, strengthening U.S. farms, and cleaning America's rivers. Let me just stop there and say, Eric, you'd really like to talk with me about crypto and blockchain. I think you're being misled in a lot of different ways, and I blow your mind. Hey, if everybody agrees with that's been watching me for 4 years, just do me a favor and say, Eric, meet the Ninja. All right. Now, it says here, instead, we were told this is the last minute. We were already flying to Hong Kong, intending to meet. We had already been told by Eric's team that we were meeting with him. We had a meeting. We were then told at the last minute the price of access was $275,000 for an introduction, and more if we wanted a meeting. To that, and let me read this next line. This is Adam's words and mine. Let me be clear. I don't believe Eric Trump or his family members have any idea that this is happening. They don't know people are monetizing their names like this, but that's what we encountered in our own Capitals ecosystem. And Eric, and RFK, if you'd like, I'm going to put a link to the blog. You can contact Adam Reiser and he can tell you exactly who did it. It says here, meanwhile, in Monaco, Abu Dhabi, Singapore, London, and Nice, doors have opened freely. Princes, ministers, and heads of state welcomed us to share solutions. They see blockchain AI and oyster-based nutrient credits as tools to clean water, reshore ecosystems, and build accountability markets. Let me make this very clear to the leaders of our country right now. I am going to, along with Adam Reiser, Michelle Tan, and a handful of amazing entrepreneurs in America, we're going to create one of the most amazing companies in America. We're also creating the next Berkshire Hathaway that's focused on American companies. But I want to make this very clear. It is now going public that everyone's on notice. If you would like to meet with us, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, we're not going to pay for it. But I think it would be in America's best interest that the government figure out what we're about to do before we go and invite all these other countries to start buying these credits. I'm not joking. We're not going to stop and sit on the sideline while beef and vegetables are not being traced properly, and we're doing these crap, just everybody take everything off the shelves because there was salmonella over here or Ebola over here. We need to have this properly tracked. On top of that, we're not going to wait around for these waters to get cleaned. So who wants the good press? I'm going to be very serious. I'm very frank. Eric and RFK, you need to find out who's charging for meetings. I know you guys don't know about it. Fire them. I think it's important that people understand where we're at as a nation, and it's way more than a political divide. It's good versus evil, and part of that evil is controlling our food supply to where you don't know where it's from. Let me ask you this. Type 3, if you knew this. Type 4, if you did not know this fact. Grass-fed beef only has to have a very, very small percentage of it being grass-fed for a little bit of time for it to be certified. That's wrong. Did you know that there are beef finishers that actually feed expired candy, including the wrappers? They get shredded in a mulcher and they get fed to cattle. Cattle are ingesting plastics and sugar before they come to your dinner table. This needs to stop. This is what we will use blockchain to do. If you think this is a good idea, do me a favor and just type a hundo right down below. 100%, whatever. We need to get to our nation's leaders because big pharma, big dairy, big beef, big everything has got their ear because they're paying them money for those meetings. Yet the economic ninja was told, oh, you got to pay $275 just for an introduction. You kidding me? Eric should meet me. He'd be stoked to meet someone like me and talk about blockchain with no cell phones or recording devices around. I think this world puts too much weight on fanciness and money and not on truth and transparency.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's very interesting because what he's saying is that there are people around Eric Trump and the Trump family that are trying to sell introductions and time with them.
$275,000. My entire net worth is not even that. I wouldn't pay $2.75 to shake someone's hand. It's like you either want to meet with me man to man or you don't.
Well, it does make me question how much they know and how much they don't know. And I'm going to tell you why. I would normally just scoff at this and say, oh, there's no way. But I'll tell you this one. So last week, I believe it was early last week, I was listening to a snippet from a Sean Ryan show. And a guy was on there. He had apparently run for office, was not familiar with this man. And it would take me a minute to figure out who he was and which interview. But he talks about running for office. So I end up learning that and realizing that. And he says that he wished that when he was running for office, that President Trump would have stayed out of it because instead, President Trump supposedly endorsed the guy he was running against. And he said, yeah, I just didn't have the money. Right. And Sean Ryan's like, what do you mean? And he was like, yeah, I mean, it was like, I forget $600 and something thousand to get President Trump's endorsement. And Sean Ryan's like, you're kidding me. You're saying that it's for sale. Like he got money for that. And he's like, oh yeah, I just didn't have the money. And so
does that mean that Cash Patel paid that to Trump to endorse his children's books? I'm just curious.
I don't know. I don't have a clue. I don't know. But I think it's worth at least knowing about this. We can't prove it. We don't know what's the truth. But I am telling you, that is what I saw last week. So when I heard this, today, I thought, this is ringing a bell. And so who knows what the truth is. But for an introduction, and then it was going to be more money than if he was to spend time with Eric Trump. And so is the way that the story went.
Again, people put too much emphasis on a person with a title or a famous person, this, that, and the other. They put their pants on just like I do. So you either want to shake my hand for free, man to man, or that ain't happening. I'm not paying for it.
Yeah.
So I don't blame the economic ninja one bit. I'll be danged if I'd be paying $275,000 to shake somebody's hand. No. See, here we go again, having no access to the president or this administration. They've even blocked See, this is a form of blocking, is what this is. By doing that, they know these guys don't have that kind of money, so they're blocking access to Eric because they know Eric has direct line to the president.
Mm-hmm. Wonder about that. So it's just interesting. Savage calls Trump out when he's wrong. Randy C888 says. So okay, now
Can I just say one thing here on a couple of comments on the in the live chat here? And
yeah,
guys are talking about they have 30-06s and there would be nothing left of Charlie. You're absolutely correct, guys, because there was no exit wound. There was no anything. If he was hit with a 30-06, even at 200 meters or 200 yards, there'd have been an exit wound and there'd have been a mess all over that tent. So.
Oh, so no way that we're being told the truth.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Nope.
Yeah. So the question is Charlie really, dead? Is he alive? Was he replaced? We've seen these photos.
Or he was simply shot with a smaller caliber, simply put.
Mm-hmm.
Either one, and they're just not telling you. They're not telling you the truth. Nobody's saying the truth right now. Nobody.
Yeah. Very interesting. Okay. So, and there could be good reason for that. We just don't know. I mean, it's all this Freemasonry stuff. So who knows? Okay. So let's move on. So Trump heads to dinner in DC. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Thank you. Thank you. The restaurants now are booming. People are going out to dinner where they didn't go out for years. And it's a safe city, and I just want to thank the National Guard. We loved working with the mayor and the chief, and we all work together, and the outcome is really spectacular. We have a Capitol that's very, very safe right now.
Okay, he says the Capitol is very safe, all is well. Let's look at the next video.
Yep.
Trump is the Hitler of our time! Free DC! Free Palestine! Trump is the Hitler of our time! Free DC! Free Palestine! Trump is the Hitler of our time! Free DC! Free Palestine! Trump is the Hitler of our time! What do you want your legacy to be? Let's go. What do you want your legacy to be? He's terrorizing communities. Let's go. Time to go. He's terrorizing communities all over the world. Time to go. Puerto Rico. Let's go. Free DC, free Palestine. Trump is the Hitler of our time.
Unbelievable. Guys, this makes the president look so bad right here. He was 5 minutes before that. He was outside. You saw the video, bragging how safe DC was. Every single person on that Secret Service ought to be fired right there. He walks into the restaurant, literally 2 tables over. These Hamas and communist protesters were 2 tables over from him. They got access into his inner circle somehow and infiltrated, and Secret Service didn't even catch it, number one. Number two, why didn't they dump these guys on their heads in that restaurant? I mean, I've had to do it on the street. Trump's sitting there, and he literally has to tell them, come on, guys, go, get them. And what are they doing? They're sitting there going, okay, guys, come on. You guys got to leave now. No, why aren't you guys tackling these jokers and putting them on their heads? This is the problem with America right now. This is what I'm talking about. This is why why has he not fired every one of these guys? Every single one of these Secret Service guys need to be fired. They should have been literally dragging these guys out by their hair.
All right. So you've got a video that you wanted everybody to see.
My last point to this, I forgot about this. This is a prophetic sign, guys. This was a massive prophetic sign to the president and to America. What was the prophetic sign in all of this? I want people to read this. Again, don't want to just give you a fish. I want people to figure it out and teach you to fish. This was a massive prophetic sign in saying, not only is the president vulnerable, so is America because of the infiltration.
Mm.
Let me say that again. Not only is the president vulnerable, so is America because of the infiltration, and we have no one securing anything right now. Yes, we have some ICE agents out there. Tom Homan, God bless him, he's out there busting his can, trying to get these people out of here, screaming for help, which he still does not have, by the way. So, there's your prophetic sign. It's a sad day when the president has to tell Secret Service to do their job.
All right. Yeah, that is a sad day. Okay, let's take a look at this video. It's about 8-minute long clip that Mark wanted to share with us. So let's take a look at this.
What else can be done? For everyone on the left who is celebrating the death of one of our comrades, there's nothing else to call him. Do I look like a person who is scared to fucking fight you? None of us are. Over the past couple of days, I have seen some things on the internet that are so heinous, there aren't really words for it. And that's why this is about, aren't we all done talking? When do we start fighting? No, this isn't some hoorah bullshit. This is pretty serious. The left has been celebrating Charlie Kirk being shot. We have people profiting off of the murder of Charlie Kirk by selling t-shirts.
Punk with a camera. This is what he's selling. With the laughing emoji. Unbelievable. There's his other t-shirt as well. What's so funny about this? And he's looking to make a profit off of it as well?
I am not kidding when I say that the government needs to sanction a fucking fight between all of us. The government is not going to do anything. Our government needs to step aside. Make it legal for us to have one big fight. Because that's what we need. We have YouTubers, this dude named Hassan, saying conservatives need to be gutted like a fucking fish.
Left-wingers, liberals, you need to be fucking showing your opponent's guts on there, okay? You need to be gutting them. You need to be shanking these motherfuckers and letting their intestines just ride on stage. What the is this shit, man? Slice them up. Slice them and dice them.
Hey, Hassan, would you say that to my face? We have people commenting on a picture of Erica Kirk holding a rosary out, telling her that her kids now have no father. Whatever happened to just being able to disagree with someone? Oh, you're a liberal? Okay, I don't really care. I really don't. Want to know the difference between a liberal and conservative? A liberal has nothing to lose because they don't fight for anything in their life other than trying to with us. We have families, jobs, people that depend on us. All of them, just another day for them. We got another guy cheering with a microphone like he's a damn demon.
We got Charlie in the neck. Who's up next? We got Charlie in the neck. We got Charlie.
I want to ask our government something. What do you recommend we do? They are clearly attacking us. And I want to be able to say that Charlie is the last one, but I have had conversations with people who have had music tours scheduled, big people on YouTube who've been planning to do speaking events, and people are legitimately saying, do I cancel it? Am I going to be next? Because there is never a consequence. Never. Presidents, the left side of America, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, they have called us white supremacists. They have told America that white supremacy is the greatest threat to America.
Start calling his supporters racist as well. That MAGA symbol has come to represent something. It is the new Nazi symbol. It is the new hood.
Because they're not a party. Right? They're Sinn Féin to the IRA. They're the PLO to Hamas. They're a dime store front for a terrorist movement.
The Republican Party is basically a domestic terrorist cell at this point, and they should be treated as such.
There are elements of the GOP that are starting to look like the jihadists.
Not a political party. They're a white nationalist movement. They're a fascist threat to our nation. That's not hyperbolic. That's academic.
Would have once seemed hyperbolic, but it increasingly does feel like the Republican Party has become a death cult, and it's all about Donald Trump.
There is no alternative right now because the Republican Party project today is a fascist authoritarian project.
Fact is, Republicans in Congress are still in the grip of the ultra MAGA agenda.
Party of dupes, party of knuckleheads, party of weirdos, party of freaks. So that is a simple message.
When you label a group that bad for that long, there are going to be some stupid people out there who try to take us all out. And then what do? Oh, it's cool. He'll have his day in court. We don't want that. We're tired of that. Our judicial system is the biggest crock of shit known to mankind. You go out and you murder somebody. You go out and stab a person on the bus. Here's a bed. Here's an air-conditioned room. Here are 3 meals a day. Here's somebody to wait on you if you have a medical emergency. Here's health care. Here's dental care. You know what we call that? That's in prison in the United States. That's what they get. For someone who is willing to do something like that, do you think all of the stuff I just said is a scary enough thing to stop them? Here we go. We got a guy by the name of Jacob Nestegard. Listen what this said.
You support his death?
Charlie Kirk.
You support Charlie Kirk being killed?
Yes, I do.
On the day he died, you're here at a vigil for Charlie Kirk and you support his death.
Do you support a Nazi?
No, I don't support a Nazi. Charlie Kirk wasn't a Nazi.
Yes,
You support his shooter?
Yep, sure do. Freedom.
You support Charlie Kirk's shooter?
Sure do. He does all a favor.
Would you shoot somebody like Charlie Kirk?
I would have killed him myself.
You would have killed him yourself? Okay. Do you have a job here in Seattle?
Nope. I take that for a living.
Oh, you would have killed him yourself. When is enough enough? I can tell you right now, as a Christian man, as a man who follows God fiercely, it is very, very hard to not just become a straight savage right now. Here is Malcolm X, just flat out saying it.
There are many whites who are trying to solve the problem, but you never see them going under the label of liberals. That white person that you see calling himself a liberal is the most dangerous thing in the entire Western Hemisphere. He's the most deceitful. He's like a fox, and a fox is always more dangerous in the forest than the wolf. You can see the wolf coming. You know what he's up to, but the fox will fool you. He comes at you with his mouth shaped in such a way that even though you see his teeth, you think he's smiling. You take him for a friend.
So, if it was up to me, we'd just have a war right now. There's no more talking. I don't even want to be doing this. I want to strap my boots up and go meet one of these in public. Oh, okay, you're real bad on the internet, brother. Let's go meet up, Hassan Piker. Come try to gut me like a fish and see how that goes for you. I can promise you I am very real, and unlike you, I'm not just sitting on the internet acting like somebody. And as far as the government goes, you guys don't do the FBI, the ATF, the CIA, any three-letter agency. Just understand that, one, you guys have handled this whole thing like, oh, it's a trans shooter, and we found his rifle in the woods, even though he didn't have a rifle when he was running away from the building. Start meeting us on our level of intelligence, because it is no longer 1950 where you can just tell the public something and they're like, oh, the FBI said it, so it's okay. Nope. Show us what's in the Discord of this guy. Show us who he's connected to. Pull up everybody who he's ever talked to, figure out what they know. We are tired of these smoke and mirrors. And then you need to let both sides handle their fucking business, because let me tell you what's going to happen if we don't. There's going to be another and another and another, because their side, they have no heart. They don't understand that these are fathers, mothers, sons. They just look at him and say, oh, he said something mean about my boyfriend's pronouns, so I got to kill him. That's what it is.
Okay.
All right. So look, this guy's got almost 1 million followers on YouTube. And the reason I played this because everything he's saying in there is pretty much correct right now. This is how everybody's looking at this government right now, because they're not lifting a finger to fix this third world country that we live in right now. And so I've been prophesying this for 5, probably plus years right now. I prophesied it first on Greg Hunter's show 5 years ago that if the Patriots wait too long to act, if Trump waits too long to act, the White Hats wait too long to act, the Patriots were going to take matters into their own hands. This is proof right here. I'm seeing video after video after video of these massive influencers like this, guys, who are sick and tired of this rhetoric coming from the left. And it's like he said, how long do you want us to sit here and watch them killing us with the government when they're doing nothing? He has a good point here. I don't want to see civil war happen in this country. But we are this close right now because of this kind of stuff right here. And I'm not down on this guy because what he's saying is correct. Because we're only going to put up with this for so long. And so at what point does Trump and his administration clean this mess up and stop this before we get to a flashpoint? Notice I said flashpoint. We've talked about flashpoint before. And so before we get to a flashpoint and the Patriots take matters into their own hands, because in that same prophecy I gave, I said that they would drag these politicians out of their office and their homes and drag their dead bodies through the streets. And they will not stop until it is complete this time. We don't want that, guys. Yes, they are trying to bait us into a fight with all of this. I get that. But you have people out here that don't want trouble. But if trouble comes to your door, they're going to end it. And that's my point to this. We are at a flashpoint in this country because I am seeing on social media stuff like this because these guys are sick and tired of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Where I think that the problem is for me is, you hear people say Democrats and Republicans and liberals and all that kind of stuff, and really, to me, it's just a spiritual battle. It's people, I mean, to me, I just think that if people are still saying Democrats and Republicans, then
Right.
they've missed the whole thing. I mean, most of the
Well,
Republicans are rhinos, so that's why the term exists.
but
So to
see,
me, it's all just a
how did we
convoluted
get
mess.
into this position to begin with? Well, let me explain to you how we got in this position to begin with. It was the 4-year pause
Mhm.
that we had to have that decimated our country because, like the prophetic word says in here, the illegals coming across the border are a natural manifestation of what's happening in the spiritual. These demons are still here. Even when you get them out of the natural, someone has to get them out of the spiritual still. Who do we have to do that? Paula White? Good luck, guys, because it's not going to happen. Rodney Howard-Brown, Hank Kuhneman, Lance Wallnau, all these false prophets? Good luck, guys. It's not going to happen. These guys have had 40 and 50 years doing what they're doing, and we're in this mess right now because of the people like this, because it's all been about the money. It's all been about the corporations. It's all been about this. The church is combat ineffective. So it has led us to this point. So they have to get the illegals out of here. It will be a sign that they're being extricated in the spiritual when they do this. We're not getting it done fast enough, guys, before we hit a flashpoint. And that's what has me concerned, because this prophecy is about to come to pass.
All right, let's watch the next video. So this is where an immigrant tries to teach a U.S. citizen some new rules about driving. It doesn't go very well. Let's take a look.
The new rules I should drive in there.
What new rules?
Do you know the...
Move your car. Move your bike out the way. Bro.
Yeah. See, there's another example. People are tired of it. They're not going to put up with it anymore. So again, look, we just saw protests in England, 3 million strong. That actually needs to happen here in America with the Patriots, believe it or not. That's one side of the story. The other side of that story is the reason the Patriots don't do that right now is because we have something called the Second Amendment. And they know that if they show up armed, or there's always going to be some scumbag, some MK Ultra assassin a shooter in the crowd that's going to cut loose, and that's when the first shot's fired, and it cuts loose from there. And they know that. So they've been very conservative about showing up to stuff like this for that very reason. Because all these people you're seeing that he had on his video with the bullhorn or this, that, and the other, these are all MK Ultra individuals. The guy holding said he wanted to kill Charlie Kirk himself. These guys are MK Ultra. They're running a program. You can't get through to these people.
Well, and we also have to keep in mind that guy, doesn't have a job, and he says that he TikToks for a living.
I guarantee you that guy's MK Ultra, just like the guy with the bullhorn. They're all MK Ultra. This is the army that Gina Phillips has been talking about.
Yes. It's so good. All right, the next one. So a leftist, just in case people don't know, a leftist rode through a Charlie Kirk vigil. I think this was Friday night on a scooter, and in front of that was going on in front of the Idaho State Capitol. He was yelling, "F Charlie Kirk." Now, how do you think that's going to go? Let's take a look at what happened. It got caught.
This guy's gonna get
So here it is, more to God's point right here, that people have had enough. They're fed up. They're not going to put up with it anymore. Now it's going to get violent. And so, honestly, that's what Secret Service should have been doing to those kids or those people, those idiots in the restaurant when Trump was there. They should have been stomping their hind end. But instead, Trump's got to tell them to do their job and get them out of there.
Yeah. All right. So, you've been warning that tensions are high. This is not going to be good. Well, and then also, now remember, we had Trump talking about as he was heading to DC about how great DC or dinner in DC, talking about how great DC was doing. And then, of course, the Code Pink disrupts Trump and the cabinet dinner. Well, now we've got Megyn Kelly and Don Jr. And listen to what Don Jr. had to say.
What's next? Because there's a lot of talk about is now a moment to reach out, have a kumbaya moment with the other side, lower the temperature. Is now a moment to step over the other side and forge forward without them? Just what you say, we're winning. Just complete the victory without them.
Megan. I'd love to do the former, but who is better at that or kinder in doing that than Charlie Kirk? And they killed him. I don't think it's possible. Again, you see it, the amount of normal people who aren't even political, who have they've hit a breaking point. They're not having these conversations on Twitter, I'm sure. They are sick of this crap.
So there you have the president's own son stating that we're sick and tired of this crap. And look, let me say something else here, guys. Please pray for Don Jr. because I'm sensing something not good right now with him. Possibly some danger, and I hope the Secret Service is listening, quite honestly, because I'm really sensing some danger prophetically for him. So pray for Don Jr. for his protection, please. Because look, I think that there's a possibility he could actually be running for president at some point, and they're not going to want that. So be praying for this man. Be praying for him, please.
Yeah, and his family. Okay, so he's saying, and by the way, he was somewhat close with Charlie Kirk.
Right.
They had gone together. I don't know if people know this, but what was it, maybe 2 months ago? Don Jr. was going on a trip and Charlie Kirk went with him. I don't remember if it was Iceland or where it was. I don't remember where they were going, but it was something that Don Jr. was being sent to take care of and do. And I just happen to know that Charlie Kirk went with him.
Right. Right.
So I think they were pretty close.
And if you see that video, his eyes were red. Looks like he had been, tearing up before the interview. So,
Okay. So, it's all very interesting. Buncher says the veil is being lifted. Demons are having a harder time behind their cloaks.
Yep.
I'm here to tell you, some are seeing things that we should not be seeing.
Yep.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at what we were planning to talk about when it comes to what's going on in the country spiritually. Let's take a look at what you saw. This was just today. I talked about this about a month ago. I don't think it was on a show you were on, but I talked about it also that I'd been at the mall and I hadn't really been to a mall and I'd gone to a couple of different stores and I just couldn't believe it. Now, this was a month ago. This was August. I could not believe how much crap was out there that had to do with Halloween. So let's look at these pictures that you've got. So this is one. There's 3 photos. Where was this? Walmart?
This was Home Depot.
Oh yeah, Home Depot's terrible. I've been in there before, and they have the. I think that's where you get those huge skeletons and the dog. That's a skeleton last year.
If we can go to the next photo. Yep, there you go. That skeleton right there is probably about 9 feet, and so literally 9 feet tall. And if we can go to the next one, producer Ron, that demon on the far left right there, that scarecrow-looking demon, that's probably close to 10 feet, 11 feet right there. Now, I want people to understand something. When you take this stuff home, and you put this stuff in your house, even on your property, do you understand what this is summoning in the spirit, demonic-wise? You are drawing and summoning those spirits to your house, inside your house, on your property. I mean, look at this. You've got a dragon with wings back there. I mean, you've got all these different things. This is Home Depot, guys. You wonder why America, spiritually, is turning the way it is, because this stuff has been made to normalize, to make it look like it's innocent. Look at this little girl in the picture right here. I just noticed that. The little girl right there. What is she, like 7?
Oh, I see, with the pink shorts on.
With the pink shorts. I didn't even notice that until just now. So what is she, 7 years old? She's got no business looking at this stuff.
No.
Where's mom and dad? See, because they think it's so innocent that they're going to take this stuff home.
Yeah.
This is where we're at spiritually and morally as a country right now, because the church has failed miserably.
It's terrible. Okay, so I got to tell you what happened. So producer Ron, I'm going to tell you what happened. It just happened today. I got to tell you all this. So since we're on it, and I asked producer Ron if it was okay if I shared this, okay, and he'd given me permission to share this story. So unbeknownst to everybody, producer Ron has been having a very hard time with his back. He goes to, I think it was Staples. He goes to the store and he buys a chair. Now, producer Ron's tall. He's over 6 foot, big guy, and so he sees Shaquille O'Neal has a line of chairs, office chairs. This is for his desk. And so he ends up buying a chair that was part of the Shaquille O'Neal line. So he gets it home, and I don't recall if his back was hurting beforehand or not, but seems like it was. And so he was having some trouble with his back and his neck. And that's why he said, I think it's the chair. I remember him saying, I think it's the chair. And so that I'm sitting in, And so I said, what kind of chair are you using? And he had said that he was using a chair from the dining room, breakfast nook table and chairs. So I was like, oh my goodness, you can't be doing that, especially as much as he's at his desk. I said, you got to have a real chair. And so he went and bought this chair. He got worse. He says, was not nearly as bad after, it was hurting, but not nearly as bad after buying that Shaquille O'Neal chair. So it got to a whole nother level. And so I'm knowing this is going on, and I'm talking with him. This goes on. We tell Mark about it. I think it was either last Monday or the Monday before. I don't remember, but it's been recent. Even Mark knew about it because we had talked about it with Mark even before one of the shows that got brought up. So this morning, and by the way, so Ron ends up realizing that it's got some weird name and it's after some god. And it's some Greek god, and it was just weird. And so the whole thing, so he's like, yeah, I'm taking that chair back. So he calls, gets the manager to accept the chair back. So he takes it back. He finally gets time and goes and takes it. So all this has been going on for a few weeks now. Okay. Didn't have the chair a long time. I guess that was about a month or so. But almost immediately the back started hurting. Last week he tells me, Michelle, my back, it was Thursday night, goes to dinner with my family. And he goes, and I ask him about his back, and he goes, Michelle, like my back, it's great. Like I've been healed. And I'm like, really? And he goes, like nothing is hurting anymore. Nothing. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. I mean, he had been doing all kinds of stuff. Pain Terminator was helping, but he'd get up in the morning, he'd still be hurting. And he was like, Michelle, and he, just really a lot of pain. So this morning I was in the car getting ready to go to his home to take him a few things and real quick. And I ended up, he says it's Zephyrus was the name of the chair. It means the god of the west wind. So, okay. So I have been having a problem with my nose. I know many people know I got really sick a few weeks ago, and this right side of my nose has been hurting. And so, and it just isn't getting better. It's like slowly getting better now, but through the weekend, it was just unbelievably hurting. And so it just got really dry. I was just so sick. And so anyway, so what happened is I start thinking, well, maybe when I get to Ron's house, I'll ask Ron to pray with me in agreement about my nose. And then I would just start praying. Immediately, Ron comes to my mind, and I start praying and thanking God about his back, that his back was healed and that he's doing so great. And I was just praising God about it and talking to God about it. And all of a sudden, the Holy Spirit showed me and said, he had to get the chair out of the house first before he could be healed. And so it was like, oh my goodness. So I tell Ron about it, because he was hurting when he took the chair. He was not healed, and it was suddenly healed. And Thursday night, he went out of his way to tell me, Ron did, I know God healed me. The Holy Spirit healed me just suddenly. And so I'm telling you, this has been going on and on. And so I was like, this morning when the Holy Spirit revealed that to me, was so good. And so when Mark showed me those 3 pictures that we just showed you of all this demonic stuff, look, I've also shared that story about how the Holy Spirit was really doing a work in me. I was really growing in my relationship with him. This was about 12 years ago, almost 13 years ago. And the Holy Spirit kept showing me my storage closet upstairs. I told this story recently. And so you think something is no big deal. And I'm just here to tell you, I didn't have any of this demonic stuff you're seeing, but what the Holy Spirit showed me was that I did buy something from Target out of the Halloween section. And it was a little bitty pumpkin. It was like a little jack-o'-lantern thing. And that's where Melissa Leggett talks about going back to the source, go back to where things originated, where it was the foundation of that thing. And so you've got to know the foundation of this stuff. And so what happened was he kept showing me this little plug-in nightlight that I'd had a couple of years, and it was upstairs. It was the only thing in the house that had anything to do with anything. And I didn't consider it as Halloween stuff. And so he kept showing me a vision of that plug-in little thing that I would bring out and plug it in the boys' bedroom every October, and then put it back up. And so to me it was more pumpkin-y, but it did have a face on it like a jack-o'-lantern. And then it was the Holy Spirit that reminded me that I actually purchased that in the Halloween section, because I kept thinking, why you keep showing this to me, God? And I knew he was showing me to get rid of it, but I was like, why am I supposed to get rid of this? It's just a little pumpkin. And so this went on until I got rid of it and threw it away. So if you think that this isn't a big deal, I'm going to tell you right now, why would God have been showing me to get rid of that? Why would he have been showing me that needs to be out of the house? And so that one little pumpkin, this little jack-o'-lantern, this small. And so I'm just telling you, it matters. These things matter, and you've got to get them out of the house. Just like the Spirit showed me today, Ron had to get that chair out of the house so he could be healed. Mark?
Right. And so you got to ask yourself, well, why was Ron's back hurting? Let's look at this from a prophetic perspective here. Shaq is a Mason. It comes with a Masonic curse. So that has to be broken off. So when he got rid of the chair, a lot of that was broken off. Every single Mason I have ever met in my life has back problems, or their wives have back problems. Ask yourself, why is that? Because they're not lining up with the Word of God. That's why.
That's good. Okay, producer Ron says, last week was the first time without back pain for almost 3 months now. I bought the chair over 2 months ago. I have not had back pain like that after a while having that chair before, but now pain-free. Right. And so, because that's why he bought it, because he was already having a little bit of back problems. But praise God. But this morning, the Holy Spirit just revealed it to me. And so I told him about it. I was like, your back's still good. He's like, oh, yes, he is healed. And he was so excited to share that with me on Thursday evening and said, Michelle, like, I'm not just pain-free, like I'm healed. The Holy Spirit healed my back. And so, and you know when you get healed like that. And so I knew when he said it and the way he looked at me, I knew he was healed. But I asked him today, right after, I had that, from the Holy Spirit. And I thought, okay, well, I'm going to ask him. So when I got there, I asked him about it. He's like, no, I'm great. And he's great. And so not sitting in a big chair, he's back to sitting in the chair from the dining room until he finds something else. But praise God, he's healed and he's doing great. But this is, when he was using the Wave Watch, he was using Pain Terminator. It was ongoing stuff that he was doing to manage this pain and to get some relief every night. And so this was going on. But when you are up against something like that, where you've got that in the house and it took it to a whole nother level. And so I just want people to hear this. It's, we're coming up on October. People are at the stores. You think you're picking up something that's no big deal, a sweatshirt or whatever that you might think goes, oh, this is cute. I don't even buy Halloween candy. I don't have any of that stuff in the house. Yep. Do not partake in any of that junk.
Nope.
And
Nothing at all.
You can think that it's no big deal, but I'm telling you, it's a very big deal.
Yes. Yes, it is. From a spiritual standpoint, you don't want to bring any of that stuff in your house because you open yourself up to a curse.
That's right. And so, and that's really with the chair. That's what I said to Ron today. I said, opening doors, that chair was an open door. And that's what the Lord was showing me, was that, by getting that chair out of the house, then that opened him up to being able to be healed. And so that was an act of getting up and getting it out of the home. So praise God that producer Ron is doing great and his back is healed. Okay. So Mark, any closing statements or anything you want, just the closing thoughts before we let you go?
Yeah. So I want to go back to the prophetic sign that God gave at the DC restaurant with President Trump. I want people to pray for this. Okay. Because again, the president's eyes need to be opened. We need to be praying for his safety and pray for Don Jr.'s safety. This is twofold. Okay. The prophetic sign again was the fact that Trump is vulnerable, and so is America, and it's time to act. That's what God was saying. It's time to act before something happens in this country that lights off, because we're coming to a flashpoint. The thing with Don Jr., what I'm concerned with is the fact that I've been saying that this is a King David moment for Trump because of his ego, because of his pride and his arrogance. is that there's what happened to King David. King David, God took a child from King David because of what he did. I'm not saying that's what God's going to do here, but I am concerned that Don Jr. could be in some type of danger here, guys, because, again, I know Trump loves his kids. I know that. And so I don't want to see anything happen to any of them for that fact. So pray for him, pray for that. But I do feel like there's something's going on with Don Jr. That's all I can say in the spiritual realm right now. But also, whatever's coming for President Trump is going to drive him to his knees in repentance, and it's going to be something very personal. I don't know if it's the vaccines. When we reach the pinnacle, it's going to drive him to his knees. I think it could be a number of different things, guys. But either way, where was President Trump shot? He was shot in the right ear. Why was he shot in the right ear? Because God allowed that warning shot to President Trump because he's listening to the wrong people right now. The right side of the body is for now. He's listening to the wrong people now. So we need to be praying that somehow this high-level witchcraft spell that's over the president gets broken.
Yes. Yeah. And just be praying for everybody's protection.
Yes.
And wisdom, knowledge, and discernment.
Right.
And so we're to be praying for that as well.
Yes.
With Don Jr., do you think that that's part of the junior ticket that you had prophesied before?
He was specifically in the dream that I had. Yes.
Okay. So with the junior ticket?
Mm-hmm. It was actually Don Jr. that I had in my dream.
I didn't realize that you knew who it was. I didn't know that there was a person. Did you see the other junior?
No, it was just another junior.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. Yep. But you saw him specifically.
I saw him specifically. Yes.
That's interesting.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you, Mark. Thank you so much for sharing all that.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you. Love it. Our time with him. Okay. So I want to remind you, it's a big week. We had a lot going on this week. But enjoyed our time with Mark today. And I want to do a giveaway because Friday we're going to have Eve here. We're going to be doing some giveaway stuff all week. And then Friday have her here. We had so many people excited about the laundry detergent. So we are behind the fulfillment center. Actually, I'm going to be going there and seeing it. I leave tomorrow night and I will be there and see what all is going on and taking new things and some other stuff going on. And making plans for Granny Aganza, which happens in November, and going over some final details on that. I'm very excited. But oh my goodness, the laundry detergent. I don't think that they anticipated that I kept saying laundry detergent is going to be a big seller. I didn't know that they didn't seem to think it was that big of a seller. So anyways, but it's my understanding that a lot of it is being shipped out today, tomorrow, Wednesday. So I think they're getting caught up with that. I know many orders went out without the laundry detergent and they'll catch that up later. So it's my understanding that that's happening. And so we shall see. I'll know more tomorrow. But we are releasing a few things. This is not like a regular release. This is not the shampoo release, but this is something else that we're doing on Friday. I think it's like, Producer Ron, how many items did you say is on the list? I think it's like 28 items. So and it'll all make sense on Friday, but not as big of a release. And so we're excited about it for sure. So you'll see. And then we're fulfilling a couple of requests that you all have made. So very excited about it. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to be doing a first fruits giveaway. We're going to do 2 winners. And this is what I need you to do. Okay. We're not going to do it today. You're not going to win today, but you got to enter today or tonight or in the morning. But we're going to give people that don't get to watch live a chance to win. Okay. And so here's what I need from you. So you got to put as the subject line either lime, lemon, or orange. You got to tell me which one you like. Some of you like one over the other or have a favorite or whatever. So I need to know which one you like. Okay. And then you're going to get a bunch of goodies that are either the lemon, the lime, or the orange, or the first fruits. So we're going to do that. We're going to give away 2. And they get shipped out tomorrow, so it'll be great. But okay, so here's what you do. You email Michelle@NashvilleMichelle.com, your first name, your last name, your shipping address, your phone number. Got to put your phone number in just in case I need to call you. I'll have your phone number. You never know. Random things pop up. So first name, last name, shipping address, and phone number. And then remember in the subject line, I need you to put lemon, lime, or orange because it's first fruits. Okay. And then that way you get what you want. All right. And so we're going to do a really good box. It'll be great. It'll have the bath salts, a bath bomb. We'll do all kinds of stuff in there for you. All right. So, but we're going to give it away tomorrow. We're going to give people a chance to win that watch a little bit later. And so, but we're, I like to celebrate. And so I love celebrating new releases. It's kind of a new thing of mine. I've been doing that, I guess, maybe now the last 3 releases. And so, anyway, so we're going to do that. It'll be fun. I like it. Let's see. So let's see. Looking at, are pumpkin placemats okay? Are they pumpkin or are they jack-o'-lantern, like with the face carved out? And so if it's like a Thanksgiving harvesty kind of pumpkin, that's one thing. But see what I'm saying? Where is it sold? Is it placed in with other Thanksgiving things? That's probably your clue. Or is it placed in with other October, Halloween kind of things? So I hope that, and if you're in doubt, throw it out. So I don't take part in anything that I have any doubts about. I hope that makes sense. Because usually the way I see it is, usually there's a doubt because of, really my spirit just really showing me and discerning what's going on. But pumpkins, God made pumpkins. And so, that's different than a jack-o'-lantern. What I had was a jack-o'-lantern in my home. And so I hope that helps. So, okay. I hope that you enjoyed today's time with Lieutenant Mark Taylor. He'll be back next Monday as well. So we have tomorrow's show. Wednesday, we have a documentary or an educational video. We'll have Thursday's show. And then Friday, Eve will be here as well. And we'll be releasing those 28 items. We're also going to do a This, Not That. Ooh, y'all be ready. It's going to be good. Get your notepads out. Many of you say that you watch a lot of those shows over and over and take notes because there's just so much information that we share. And the This, Not That, oh my goodness, there's so much stuff that gets put into the products and everything. It's just absolutely insane. And I got to tell you what I'm realizing, just like when I shared with you about going to that boutique, just realizing how many people don't really care that there are so many hormone disruptors and just poisons in our food and in the land, the air, the water. It's crazy how many people don't really even seem to necessarily understand or care about what's going on. I don't think they understand the impact that it has on their bodies. And their children's, it's their whole family. So it's really a travesty if you ask me. That's just me. All right. Well, I hope that helps. And I will see you tomorrow right here next time on the Michelle Moore Show.
There aren't a lot of reasons to use Godly Granny products. There's every reason, because every time you twist or flip a cap on something from Godly Granny, you're voting no to chemicals and yes to common sense, but without all the electronic voting machines. With Godly Granny, there's no toxins, no chemicals, no endocrine disruptors, no cancer-chasing filler. Godly Granny is a small batch, made-to-order, deeply naturopathic wellness brand, founded on biblical truth, formulated with pure purpose, and handcrafted by saved folks who know that freedom doesn't come from fake lavender and phthalates. Go to godlygranny.com today. Be sure and use the discount code Michelle10 at checkout to receive 10% off your entire order.
Trying to get healthier is full of can'ts.
Come on, Grandma, come play. Come play with us, Grandma.
I can't move. So you go to the doctor.
Your body can't figure this out. So take this, and this.
Because your body can't. But is it true your body can't? Maybe your body can. All you need is a little support. Wave Watch is a wearable device that uses sound wave therapy to help your body heal itself. Studies are showing that all cells in our bodies resonate at unique frequencies, and specific sounds can stimulate them. Your body can deal with pain, so you can play hard.
WaveWatch comes with a 1-year manufacturer's warranty for defects and flaws, and you can upgrade to an additional warranty for water damage and breakage. Go to wavewatch.com. Be sure to use the discount code Michelle100 at checkout to receive $100 savings on your purchase.
Hi friends, it's Michelle Moore. And when it comes to protecting your retirement, I believe in taking smart, steady steps. Bank of America analysts call gold the ultimate safe haven, and when it comes to precious metals, I trust Universal Coin and Bullion, the official rare coin and bullion dealer of my show. They have been named the best in their industry both nationally and regionally by leading organizations. Consider a gold IRA, a time-tested way to diversify your portfolio with real tangible assets, which lets you move a portion of your retirement savings into physical gold, helping protect your wealth from inflation, market swings, and economic uncertainty. And Universal Coin and Bullion makes the process easy. From rollovers to delivery, they walk you through every step, even if you have one with another gold company. Protect what you've worked so hard to build from the team that I trust, Universal Coin and Bullion, at 800-321-8700, and make sure to tell them Michelle sent you.
Did you know your cell phone emits radiation that has been linked to increased risk of certain types of cancers? This is why manufacturers include hidden warnings to keep your phone away from your body. And what's worse is that children are more susceptible to the potentially damaging effects. Safe Sleep for cell phones is a case specifically designed to block radiation. Its shielding technology integrated into the case has been tested in a third-party FCC-accredited lab to block over 99% of RF and 92% of ELF radiation emitted by your phone. It also functions as a stand for watching videos and comes in a magnetically detachable style for some devices. Safe Sleeve also offers anti-radiation cases for tablets and laptops and has free shipping in the U.S. plus discounted worldwide shipping is available. Go to truthtalkamerica.com today and click on the Safe Sleep banner on the home page. Use the discount code FIRST10 at checkout for 10% off your first order.
For Michelle's social media links, go to michellemooreshow.com.